Hello and welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. We're only doing one this week because someone decided to go on holiday instead.
Hiya.
I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And Liverpool,
very tanned, Matt.
A very tan, Matt, you are. Got a lovely glow to you. So Liverpool played 3 times this week. Three quite important games, as it turns out. We haven't talked about any of them, so we're going to just blitz through all 3. We are, of course, talking about PSG away, Everton at home and Burnley away. Obviously, we want to talk about 2 of those more than one. But let's start at the one we really can't be arsed talking about, which is PSG. It was frustrating, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think it was too terrible a performance.
Yeah,
really, but it wasn't the best way to get started with this week. I know that in the grand scheme of things, a loss against PSG doesn't really change anything because we'd want to win the Napoli game anyway. But now it means that we have to, and it's I wouldn't say hanging by a thread because it is in our hands. We just need to win 1-0 or win by 2 clear goals. But it's a bit disappointing to go there and come away with a 3-1 loss.
Yeah, well, 2-1.
2-1.
It would have been disappointing for the 3-1 loss, but 2-1.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Now, the thing is, we go into this, and we weren't really... When we spoke about it before the game, I suppose me and you were a bit we were very optimistic about Liverpool's chances in this. We're talking about a PSG team who, up until this game, in the league, had won every single game this season. I said that I felt confident from this. I expected Liverpool to take something from it. But PSG, it was a must-win game for them in terms of their ambitions of finishing anywhere in this group.
Of course.
And you could see how much it meant to their players at the end. Not even at the end, to be honest. In the 85th minute, I think it is, where Thiago Silva tackles Robertson and Marquinhos have a little chest bump.
Yeah, when we win a goal kick.
And it's like, this is everything, and don't, for 1 minute, think that it's not to do with how big a scalp Liverpool are in Europe.
Yeah, definitely.
But
we're a big deal. Beating us is a big deal for them, and I think that's testament to how far Liverpool have come in the last few years.
In terms of what you consider a big club in the present day, PSG might be considered on some metrics a bigger team, purely on the financial side of it, really. But in terms of the history Liverpool have got, PSG dream of that, and they aspire to have what Liverpool have got in their past. So,
the dream for them is being crowned European champions, and they only have to look to us to see the long-lasting effect that has, the kind of romance that you have with Europe after that. They haven't really had that. They fell at quite early hurdles quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the only reason they hire their managers is to win that trophy. Unai Emery got sacked because he didn't win it, didn't he?
Well, exactly, and Thomas Tuchel's in danger of it as well this season if he can't deliver. It's not only that as well; it's keeping the players who are there happy, because those players have been promised certain things, and
yes, definitely.
If they aren't delivered upon, then you can see PSG's playing staff becoming more and more frustrated, maybe deciding to go elsewhere. And there's only so many managers you can go through as well at the top level.
Until you reach
Mourinho. And even then, the wheels will come off for him.
Yep.
This season in particular. His stock's never been lower, to be honest. And Guardiola doesn't look like he's leaving City anytime soon, so really you aren't left with many alternatives. I suppose Zidane's the one who leaps out straight away. But it's funny we should be talking about this after they've beaten us 2-1, but it's that kind of situation with PSG that, although they've beaten Liverpool 2-1, it means nothing really in the grand scheme of things if they don't win. It's nothing if they don't win the tournament at the end. Which it's sad really, but that they can't really take any pleasure from anything. They can't. Do you know what I mean? Like last season, you look at the run we had, and we can still look back and we can take a lot of pleasure and a lot of positives from the run we had to the final. Whereas PSG, their sole motivation is now Champions League winning, and that means that the run's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not going to cut it. Do you know what I mean? Like they need the results, and that's it.
Do you reckon they've got enough to do it?
No. Not on the back of what I saw against us. I mean, put it this way: the 2 goals they scored are down to us being poor.
Yeah.
The Van Dijk makes a mistake uncharacteristically for Benat's goal, and even then takes a deflection going in, leaves Alisson with no chance. The counter attack, all right, fair enough, good counter attack for Neymar's goal, but again, it falls very kindly for Neymar after after it's bounced around a bit, and then it's one of those where if our midfield's having a bit more of a fucking good day, then maybe we aren't sitting there talking about it like this. Maybe we're sitting there saying instead that, we dealt with their counter attacks well. As it happened, Marco Verratti had the entirety of Paris to play in, so it's what's one of them. I mean, I said before the game that I wanted, regardless of Henderson getting sent off, I would have wanted Henderson starting away at Paris and then Fabinho starting away at home to Everton. I think I was proved wrong in the Paris game because it's the first time in a long while I've been like, Jordan Henderson is not good enough for this level.
Yeah, it didn't do much to detract from his haters, really, did it?
And I'm not going to turn on Jordan Henderson
of course not.
Like quickly, but it's like Liverpool's whole midfield. I mean, you look at the midfield who started, it's Henderson, Milner and Wijnaldum. It's the midfield who basically drove Liverpool a lot of last season. Alright, it's missing Oxlade-Chamberlain, granted, but there's enough about that midfield to... The first thing that you look at is it's got graft in it.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's no... There was nothing of that. It was basically they were all pushed up too high. They were letting far too much space in behind them. They weren't tracking Verratti back as well. He could have been sent off about 4 or 5 times, to be honest, Verratti as well. Yeah. But that's beside the point. But it was just a really poor midfield display, and it's something that we also witnessed in Kiev, to be honest. That when we come up against a quality midfield, our midfield on occasion has a tendency to fuck off, which is something that needs addressing, and it will be addressed once certain players are bedded in, and we'll talk about them more towards the Everton and Burnley games, I guess. But yeah, I think this game came too early for the 2 midfielders in question in terms of what Klopp would want them to do. I think other than the midfield, though, I wasn't particularly disappointed with Liverpool.
No, that's what I was saying. I didn't see it as a bad performance per se. I thought it was a decent European away performance, bar the midfield. Just things fell unluckily, and that's how things go. I guess. And the defense, not to mention PSG are a good team, and they bloody love playing in Paris.
And another thing as well, which I don't think has really been talked about, is PSG put everything into this game.
Yeah.
Everything. And you can see it from the results they've had since. As I've just said, PSG won every game in the league before they played Liverpool. And now, in the last 2 games, they've drawn twice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether there's any causality in that and I've just made it up, but it just seems a bit too coincidental, doesn't it? I
think there is something in that. Look at the Everton game. Everton put absolutely everything into that, and their result midweek.
Yeah.
It's a draw. They left everything on the pitch against us and couldn't quite get up to those levels again for the next game.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see it as a pattern in all the teams. And
there's a lot of the players did play both games as well. The game on the weekend. Bless you. So a lot of the players who played against us did play against Bordeaux.
Yeah.
So on the weekend, which it just goes to show that there was a lot of effort put into that game, and it's one of those that Liverpool weren't a million miles away from taking a point away from there. which would have been all right. It wouldn't have changed our outlook on the Napoli game.
Mm-hmm.
We still would have had to have played the Napoli game and won the Napoli game, but at the end of the day, I think it would have just... Going back to Wednesday... Well, when did we play that game? So we played that game on...
Last Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday or Tuesday?
It was a Wednesday.
Alright, yeah, so if we played the game on the Wednesday, going back to last Thursday, I'd have said that the draw was so important just to get confidence, because going into the next two games.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, with the benefit of hindsight, me and you can turn around and say, well, it didn't matter a jot. Liverpool just went about it anyway, and then got the perfect tonic for confidence in the 96th minute, because nothing better will ever happen ever. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, and another thing I wanted to mention on PSG, actually, is the number of yellow cards Liverpool get.
Yeah.
6 yellow cards. I've never seen a Jurgen Klopp side that punished, shall we say. I was going to say that reckless, but we weren't reckless. We were our normal selves and
just punished more than PSG were.
Punished more than PSG were. Marco Verratti, I counted up. I think he should have had a red card and at least 6 yellows, just for little snide fouls.
Yeah.
It's like watching Fernandinho. You know, when you just think how many is Fernandinho going to get away with before he's actually punished. But
yeah.
So that result really doesn't change what we have to do against Napoli. Liverpool have to go and beat Napoli by 1-0 or 2 clear goals. If Napoli score, then 2 clear goals. But I mean, it's a very similar situation to one we were in 2004.
Everyone's saying this could be the Olympiacos moment, and I know some people have been privately perhaps wishing for something like that, to have that Olympiacos moment on there as a notch on their bedpost, I guess. But it's not the ideal way to leave something, is it? To have it to come down to the last game to qualify out of the group.
The only thing I'm asked about is the fact that United's the game after.
Yeah,
and United, they've just dogged out a 2-2 draw last night against Arsenal. When they are like far worse than Arsenal, and they will come to Anfield and they will try and dog a draw, and David De Gea will put in the performance of his life, and we need to be good. We need to be perfect, and I feel like, with the greatest respect to the team that played last night against Burnley, if that team goes out against United, I'm going to be absolutely furious. I wasn't arsed last night, as I'll get to in a bit, but I wasn't arsed last night because I was like, it's Burnley. That team's good enough to beat Burnley, and if it's not, then they shouldn't be professional. They shouldn't be at Liverpool.
Yeah.
But that team was good enough to beat Burnley, as we've seen, but it's not good enough to beat Man United, probably. It's not good enough to beat Man United set up to frustrate Liverpool.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with that.
Which is what United will be, and it's definitely not good enough to go up against Napoli when we need a win. Would you take going out in the group stage now if it meant you won the league?
Yes.
So you'd been off any possibility of winning the Champions League? Because I didn't say you don't win the Champions League. There's a good chance Liverpool go through the group stage, win the Champions League, and could win both.
Yeah,
but if I could guarantee you that Liverpool going out the group stage, if I could guarantee you Liverpool going out in the group stage won us the Premier League, would you take it?
Yeah.
I
know. It makes me feel a bit dirty saying, but yeah.
Do you know what?
I want to win this league. I want to win this specific league.
I sort of understand where you're coming from, because I really want to outdo City.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's really funny that they put so much value on the Premier League while everybody else puts so much value on the Champions League. And Liverpool winning the Champions League would just be, again, pulling further away from United, Chelsea, Arsenal and City.
Oh, true, yeah.
It would be incredible. It attracts good players. It didn't in 2005 because Rafa Benitez just went out and bought Bolo Zenden for some reason. But, in this market now, we're talking about attracting players. All right, we're already attracting a host of fantastic names. You've only got to look at Alisson, Keita's, Fabinho's, Van Dijk's. But there's a point where if you are successful at the top level, you maybe start looking at, well, Barcelona wanted them, but Liverpool got them instead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And all right, maybe that's true. Naby Keita, however true that might be, we'll see. But I don't get me wrong. I want to win the league, but I love the Champions League. And
and like I said earlier, there is a romance with it, and like we're a European club. Like that's just that.
Yeah, that's it. I suppose. I don't get me wrong. I want to get it out the way. I want to get
that monkey off our back.
I want to get this league out the way. But I think there's a point this season where we're just all going to have to be like, Man City might win the league for the next 6-7 years because of the way that they're just. If Aguero drops off, they're just going to go out and spend 60-70 million quid on the next exciting youngster. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame that we've been dragged up to their level, really, in terms of spending money, but it's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that. Liverpool will hopefully go out, beat Napoli. We have to now, really.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's important for January as well, to be honest with you, in terms of what we do, if we do any movement in the transfer window. For example, if Liverpool have any intentions at all of going back in for Nabil Fekir, he's not coming to Liverpool if Lyon are in the Champions League knockouts and Liverpool aren't.
Well, he wouldn't be able to play anyway, but...
Yeah, he would. They changed the rules in summer.
Oh, fair enough.
So
I should really pay attention.
Only this summer. That's why Coutinho couldn't play for Barca, but now he could. Now, if this same thing happened again and Coutinho came back, he could play for Liverpool in the rest of the season.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, well, wouldn't it? They scrapped cup tie. I don't know why, but yeah. So we've done a lot longer on PSG than I expected us to. So let's move on to the happy stuff.
Yay! Do we even have to do a match review for Everton, or can we just laugh for like 5 minutes?
Fucking hell. Right. So
work yesterday was boss. I came back from holiday Tuesday night, and it was cold, wet, and miserable Wednesday morning. But I just walked in with the biggest smile on my face. It was so good.
It's mad how it's still living on.
My boss wouldn't look at me. Apparently, he wouldn't talk to any Reds on Monday at all.
I love it. The funniest thing about it was, I'd have taken that over 6-7-0 any day of the week, but never in my wildest dreams did I think it was going to come off like the way it did.
How fuming were you when he brought on Origi? Because I remember being fuming.
When I was in
when I was in some bar in Tenerife.
in the stadium, right, honest to God, when he brought off Salah, for Sturridge, I was like, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have took Firmino off for Sturridge, and I'd have left Salah on because Firmino looked shattered.
Yep.
I was like, all right, I sort of understand that, so yeah, fine. And then Origi's warming up, and I'm like, where's Keita? Was it Keita? I can't even remember that. Was it Keita? It was, who were we missing? No, Keita had already come on.
Yeah.
Who was it? I can't even remember. I was just like, we've got someone else on the bench here. Milner. That was it. I was like, this is the kind of game he brings James Milner on for. He brings Milner on and he lashes Robbo left wing, Milner left back or something like that. Something fucking mad. Never in my wildest dreams did I see Divock Origi coming off the bench, and when he did, I was livid. The lad next to me was laughing his head off because I was like, I can't fucking believe Divock Origi's on the pitch. And then, credit to Origi, he put in a fucking shift.
He did. He was doing really, really good down on the right wing, wasn't he?
He had Mina on toast at least once, maybe twice. But yeah, down that right wing, puts in a decent ball, and Mane's unlucky. But I mean, the angriest I've been in a football stadium with somebody I love, and you know, there are a couple of people at the football club I love. Alisson's one of them. I'll get to that later. Jurgen Klopp is definitely one of them, and that's why it was so hard for me to be angry with him for the Firmino thing. But Virgil van Dijk, I've never been so angry with somebody.
Oh my God, yeah.
After he took the shot on.
I got up when he did, and I was just throwing my hands up by my head, considering just walking into the sea.
When he took the shot on, I was like, if this it was like in my head whilst I was watching it up in the air, I was like, if that had gone in, it would have been the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, but it didn't. And I was.
But then,
just
like 5 seconds later, it was the greatest thing you've ever seen.
I just watched it go up, and I was like, fuck's sake. And then, like, glanced away because I was like, he's just hit it into the rose head. And then all of a sudden, you just watch it just drop onto little tiny Jordan Pickford's hands, just above the crossbar. If he doesn't touch it, it goes out for a goal kick. And instead, he pushes it back into play. And it's the bar again. And Divock Origi has a sitter from 3 yards out. And he missed the sitter from 3 yards out about 10 minutes before, because it wasn't late enough. Because Divock knew.
Did they work it up on the training pitch?
Oh my god! I honest to God, it's everything. It's like Pickford turning around and complaining that he's just complaining to the linesman over something. He just decided to appeal for something. I don't know what it was. He just went, hey, arms up, arms outstretched, but not stretched too far. Looks like a toddler who stuck his arms out. He stuck his arms in his jumper and just stuck his hands out. That's exactly what he looks like. And it was everything. It was that. It was him complaining to the officials.
It was Origi having absolutely no idea what he'd done, going to get the ball after.
It was Divock Origi picking the ball up because he didn't know the scoreline. It was Sadio Mane offering the ball back to Idrissa Gueye. It was just like, go ahead, just take that, go ahead. It was the fact that we scored in the 96th minute because they'd been time wasting for 2 minutes. It was the fact that 2 minutes beforehand they were throwing all kinds of shite at Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk whilst they were all having an argument with Richarlison. It was the fact that following that they started shouting fucking murderers. It was Fabinho latching the ball about 10 yards further up the pitch for the goal. If you watch the free kick back, Fabinho picks the ball 10 yards further forward, and then Alisson knocks the ball towards Trent. It's incredible. It's the fact that the flare comes on. It's the way when Van Dijk misses it. It's absolutely everything. Everything coming together. Jurgen Klopp being on the fucking pitch. Me hugging every single person I could find. We were sat opposite our mates who we go to game with, Jay and Kieran and Sam, and we were sat opposite, and I didn't have a clue where they were, and I was just going absolutely mad, and all of a sudden I felt someone just grab my shoulder. I turned around, Kieran's behind me, and he went, yeah! He was like, Divock Origi! Because me and Kieran have this on-running joke that I think, debate that I think Ings is better than Divock Origi. He thinks Origi's better than Ings. We haven't quite decided whether who's right or wrong. I think he might be right on the back of the derby.
He's now right. I will officially adjudicate that.
But it was just, I've not been that happy in a football ground since Dortmund. Since the Lovren header. And I cried then. I didn't cry this time round because I just couldn't believe what had happened. I was in fucking stitches. Looking over on the pitch and there's a blue flare, just a sad blue flare, just letting the tiniest bit of smoke out, and it's just, you couldn't fucking write it. I mean, if you'd have told me that was the way we were going to win the Merseyside derby, I wouldn't have believed you, because nothing was ever going to beat Mane. Nothing was ever going to beat Gary Mack either. But if Liverpool, like, genuinely, right, away from the gloating, if Liverpool win the league this season,
we could put it down to that.
It will be that moment. You know the way you listen to Jamie Carragher talking about 2001, the treble season, and they say that moment was huge, and we wouldn't, like, it gave them belief to go on and win more things.
Yeah.
We win 3 trophies that season, and that's one of the main results in that. And, you know, we get Champions League football back that year as well. That could easily be that goal.
Yeah.
And it's so important for so many different people, and it's so important for Divock Origi, who might well use that as a jumping off point now for something bigger, whether it's at Liverpool or not. He will always be remembered now forever, Divock.
Yeah, that is the Origi derby.
Yeah, and that's it.
Like, we've got the Mane derby, we've got the Cout derby, we've got the Gerard Attrick derby.
Yeah.
We've got the Gary Mack derby.
Yeah. Liverpool have scored 4 goals in 90 plus minutes against Everton, which is the most that any team has scored in the 90th minute against any other team in the Premier League, which is just poetic.
It's perfect, really, isn't it?
It really is. And do you know what? They played really well.
They were really good.
They played really well. I said so many times throughout the game, this is the best I've ever seen Everton play at Anfield.
But for some absolute heroism from Alisson and Gomez, we could have lost that.
Gomez. Not there, doing okay, Gomez. Exactly. They played really well, and they were probably a striker away from winning the game.
Yeah.
And I said that during the game. I said, if Lukaku was playing for these still, we'd have lost that game. Because they just didn't have any. Richarlison is just... He just seemed to have no balance about him. He's got no strength about him at all. Bernard, he looked dangerous, but he kept slipping. He kept falling over, and it was like, if you put Richarlison out there to go at Trent Alexander-Arnold instead, and you had just a big unit up front to just trouble the main two, in Verge and Joey, then all of a sudden that game becomes different. And that's probably what they wanted Cenk Tosun to be, but he's not turned out that way because he's shit, apparently. But their midfield worked so well, and they played us perfectly. It was like, well, we can't. Liverpool's idea is always to bomb on with the fullbacks, and then if anything, if we get counter-attacked, then the centre mids will come across and cover. But what Everton did is they moved the ball really quickly across. So that means that whilst the wingers were filling in these gaps and our centre mids had to come across, it also meant that Andre Gomez and Idrissa Gueye were just getting the ball and just
having freedom in the middle.
Having the freedom in the middle of the pitch.
Fabinho did do a good job in the middle, but not two men's.
First half he was fantastic.
Yeah, not two men's work.
It was harsh on him, and there were a lot of great tackles in there from Fabinho. But I think it was one of the occasions where you miss Emre Can in that kind of game. Do you know what I mean? You miss somebody who just runs around like a twat, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just makes his presence known a little bit, and we don't really have anyone who does that other than Fabinho. Do you know what I mean? Like, Wijnaldum is perfect for winning the ball back and holding the ball. Henderson, for ball retention. There aren't many better than Jordan Henderson in terms of just keeping hold of the ball for your team and keeping it nice and simple. James Milner's a jack of all trades, isn't he? But in terms of just being somebody who, runs around a little bit manically and a little bit aimlessly occasionally, well, more than occasionally, a lot.
Most of the time.
That's what we kind of needed a little bit of, to be honest. We needed somebody who could cover the gaps, and we just didn't have it. But what we do have now is a fantastic defence.
A really, really fantastic defence.
Leaked maybe 3 chances you'd call clear cut. Andre Gomez had 2 of those in the space of 5 seconds, and the best keeper in the world saved it, and then the best young defender in the world cleared it off the line. Alisson makes an incredible stop as well to stop Theo Walcott from going through.
Yep.
While he's one-on-one, he basically just twats the ball off of Theo Walcott's legs. He attacks the ball. Rather than letting Walcott make his move, Alisson goes, alright, I'm having it.
Yeah.
And he gets there first, and he wins the goal kick. And there was a massive roar from it because he's the best keeper in the world, and I can't imagine life without him.
He is fucking fantastic. Imagine having a tiny keeper.
No, I couldn't. Our keeper's got long arms.
Our keeper's so big, isn't he?
He's got massive arms, like average-sized arms, but then a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It's like whatever Pickford's missing, Alisson gained on their normal arms. They both started out with normal arms, and then Pickford shrunk and Alisson's grew to the proportion. But what it all comes down to is Everton probably deserved the point. Liverpool had their own chances. Don't get me wrong, Sadio Mane should score about 4.
Yeah.
On his own. Shaqiri should score in the first half. I thought Salah played well. There's a point where Firmino gets played through with Daniel Sturridge, and if he isn't knackered, he scores. But
I remember that. And I remember going to Kerry, who had no idea what was going on, and saying that exact same thing.
Yeah, and it's one of those games, but it looked like it was petering out into a 0-0. And in terms of what that would have meant for our league push, it was devastating, because we just watched City dismantle Bournemouth as if they weren't there, which we all fucking knew was going to happen. Let's be honest. And it was like City are just going to keep accumulating wins. And the thing that popped into my head, and it's something I've thought for a while, is that Liverpool are really unlucky with who our derby is when you think about it, because whilst Everton are a big club, they aren't a league challenger.
Yeah.
So basically, it means Liverpool have one more game a season that is pressure than your likes of City, because City's main derby is
also a title rival. Of old.
If Manchester City were based in Norwich, they wouldn't be called Manchester City. But do you know what I mean? If they were based in like Norwich or fucking Cornwall or somewhere like that, the United game would still have importance on their season.
Yep.
And all of the top six still would. Whereas for Liverpool, Everton has as much importance as any of the top six games. And it just means we have two more games this season where it's like, fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's two more must-win games.
Yeah, exactly. And it's another game, not even from a must-win game point of view. It's there's so much at stake, and both teams are flying for it as well.
And it's exhausting for the players and the fans.
Exactly. It's mentally exhausting, physically exhausting. It's just it's such an unfortunate situation, and it's something that has only recently come to light. Well, I say recently, in the last 20, 30 years come to light, because Everton have dropped off so much. But it just means that we have to be at our best for two more games.
What we need then is
Everton to be boss.
Or relegated.
I was thinking the other day, it'd be really
relegated.
Do you know what? Genuinely, I can't believe it actually came into my head. I was thinking, how good would it be if these became boss again? Everton as well. And it was just Liverpool, Everton and United and City were the main four teams in the league.
Northwest.
It was just everyone was just coming to live in the Northwest, and we had the best players. And alright, Everton occasionally win leagues or titles or something like or cups or something like that. But if everyone was boss again, football would mean so much more. Do you know what I mean? Like the derby would have so much more relevance than, it's nice to have bragging rights over.
Maybe the Blues at work could cheer up as well.
Yeah, maybe. I made someone leave our work chat straight away. I sent on my way back from the stadium. I went, well, at least the live buildings are still blue, eh? And he immediately left the chat.
I will have you know, actually, Everton did in fact win that derby. You know why? Because that was apparently the game that meant the most to Klopp ever. Because he ran onto the pitch to hug the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, because
that is their win. That is their win.
Michael Ball wrote in the Echo the day after, didn't he? It was like, if Liverpool had been playing Cardiff and scored in the 96th minute, Jurgen Klopp wouldn't have done it. Of course not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole fucking point of a derby. Like, if you want to be considered on the same level as Cardiff, we'll consider you on the same level as Cardiff if you want. But it's the fact that it's a local derby, it means so much already. Like all right, Everton fans can take it as relevance, but it's different. Being relevant in a title run is different from being relevant in terms of you are local and therefore we want to put you back in your place. And that's it. Like, Liverpool have kicked on, and we've somehow clung onto our status as a top team in the last 30 years, and somehow we have. Everton have so nearly got relegated at least twice. So fucking nearly. And, bar Hodgson, we've never even been close to that. It's just, there's a difference between being relevant on the big stage and being relevant in the city. Of course Everton are relevant in the city. They've never been relegated. They're the second, they're the third best team in England, in Liverpool. But as Bill Shankly would say, but it's just
Pep's all right, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Tranmere are all right as well. They might get into the third round of the FA Cup.
This is true.
They're playing the replay against Southport, and the winner gets to play Spurs,
Ooh.
which is massive.
That would be massive, actually, wouldn't it?
For Southport, it would be incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and for Tranmere, actually, either way, that's a big game for
definitely, yeah.
And if they get a replay, they get a game at Wembley.
Sound.
Which, you know, I don't know how we've ended up there, but but yeah.
Just talking about teams better than Everton.
Oh, fucking hell. I keep... Never has a derby gone on this long in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was particularly glorious, wasn't it?
Monday morning, normally, right, when we were kids and we were in school, I'd come in on a Monday morning after a derby, win, lose or draw, and we'd get it out the way by lunchtime, and then we'd play our own game of footy, and it'd kind of be out the system. Whereas this game has lasted, like, Liverpool have played since, and I'm still over the moon. I'm still, like, sharing Divock Origi 96th minute stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking beautiful. It's exactly how I would want to win a derby.
I was humming "Merry Christmas, everyone" this morning, and my boss just glared at me. Me and Jamie had a conversation. This will sound like complete bollocks now because it'll sound like it didn't happen of the year awards kind of material. But me and Jamie were having a discussion before we went, and I was like, I hope Sadio scores today because then we can get the Mane scoring song again. Well,
and then
we say that every time we play Everton.
But this is the thing. I said afterwards, mind you, it doesn't really matter. It fits for anyone. And I was like, you know, who was it? Oh yeah, Van Dijk scoring. And then I was just going through the shit, and I just went, Divock scoring. And then at Anfield, when we were all queuing up to get down the stairs, and everyone was just going off their heads, I just went, Divock scoring. Oh my god, I'm fucking. It will live forever. No matter what happens this season, that game will live forever. And Joe Anderson's fume as well on Twitter afterwards.
Oh my god, that was brilliant.
Fucking
absolutely brilliant.
It made me really happy and really sad at the same time because that fella's actually in charge of this city to a point.
Yeah.
He's just a prick, and he's going to turn the Liver buildings into student accommodation.
Blue student accommodation.
Blue student accommodation, yeah, too right. Can't have any of that red stuff, can you? Oh my god, I'm so happy. I didn't ask for your match.
I ask, man of the match.
I was about to say I didn't ask for your man of the match against PSG because who cares? It was a long time ago now, to be honest with you, so I don't give a flying fuck. We should probably start doing immediate analysis afterwards, but it's one of them. We might consider it in the future. But yeah, Everton man of the match.
It's gotta be Divock.
Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's the most overrated. Like, I've had this conversation with.
It's just so bad. It's so bad.
The fact is, right, he may well be a very good goalkeeper for them across the season, and he may well win them points across the season. But I've seen him come to Anfield 3 times, and twice he's cost them the game. Twice. He comes for a corner he's got no right in coming for, and lets Virgil score. Yeah. In the FA Cup, and then this game, well, it doesn't even need explaining, does it? But I will explain it. He stops the ball from going out by knocking it against his own crossbar, and then Origi taps it in from 3 yards out.
The thing is, it's perfect because he's too tall to not reach it, but he's too short to actually do anything with it. Yeah. So like catch it. So he just bats it back into play. And like fucking last week or the week before or whenever we recorded, I said. I don't like the thing with Pickford is he doesn't deal with the ball well. He parries it, but he doesn't parry it out. He parries it back in front of him. What the fuck is he thinking? He's so stupid. And he said he wouldn't be making mistakes like Alisson. Yeah, he hasn't made mistakes like Alisson. He's made mistakes much worse.
Yeah, in terms of mistakes made this season, Alisson's mistake against Leicester was bad, but it was down to overconfidence and cockiness. Whereas
this is down to
poor goalkeeping.
Poor genes.
Bless them. Newcastle fans were giving them it last night as well. Fantastic.
How a mighty have fallen. He was their hero.
Do you know what? Even moving away from it though, right? All right, he makes a really good save from Shaqiri. Well, according to the press, he makes a really good save from Shaqiri. It's straight at him. Shaqiri should do better. To be honest with you, but his kicking and his distribution all night, he kept finding it. I think he found every stand at least once, except for the cop when he tried to.
I think that's a perfect end. I think that's a perfect end for that.
Yeah,
but we've got to talk about Burnley now.
Oh, what a perfect ending. Yeah. That fell far too nicely. I didn't even mean it. Right, so Liverpool's 1-0 win over Everton, thanks to Jordan Pickford, meant that Liverpool went into Burnley away, still we were 5 points behind City, but it was only because City had won the night before.
Yeah.
But still basically within touching distance of Man City. Watford decided to try in the last 5 minutes against Man City. Did you watch any of that?
I didn't watch anything.
No, you didn't fucking watch any. Oh, you were on
I was on a plane.
Yeah. Basically 85 minutes, Man City went, look how many goals we could score if we really fancied it. And then Watford went, if we attack these, we might score a goal. And they attacked them, and they scored a goal. And they just left it far too late. If that game goes on 5 more minutes, then we're sitting here talking about how Man City have dropped points away at Watford, whereas Liverpool didn't. And Man City are having a little bit of a sticky spell at the moment on the sly, considering they've won 4-0 at West Ham, 3-1 at home to Bournemouth, and 2-1 away at Watford. But they haven't been great in any of those games.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the fact that Chelsea have now
dropped off a cliff.
are now dead because they can't keep up with what Sarri wants them to do.
Yeah.
I fully think Chelsea would do them this weekend. But unfortunately, the fixture list once again has fucking felt lovely for Manchester City because they play Arsenal, who was shite at the time, on the first weekend, and now they play Chelsea as Chelsea fall out of form. This would be the perfect game for Chelsea to fall back into form. Eden Hazard hasn't scored in about 12 games now in the Premier League, but we're not talking
Funny
about
how he's better than Salah, according to all the Chelsea fans.
He is. I've never known anyone more hot and cold. Michael Owen was the only player who would ever blow as hot and cold as Eden Hazard, where Owen could have like 7 games in a run where he scored like 10 goals in that period, and then he'd just go quiet for 6, and you wouldn't hear anything of him. Hazard's very similar to that.
Yeah.
And until he finds consistency, he's never getting the move he wants. No. But yeah, we're not asked about them too until this weekend. Yeah, Liverpool away to Burnley. I was in Lancashire on yesterday for work. I was in Blackburn, which is about 10 minutes away from Burnley. It's never rained so much I've never seen it rain anywhere so much.
It was very Burnley weather. I'm pretty sure it rains there all the time.
Well, it did today, and I was back there today. But yeah, it was horrendous weather, like to a point where I felt unsafe driving. So I wasn't looking forward to the football, to be honest. But I mean, what can you say about Burnley away other than when do you ever look forward to playing Burnley away?
Yeah, they'll have a Stoke of a few years ago, but it's just absolutely horrendous. You know your player's going to get kicked the shit out of, which they did. Hope Joe Gomez makes a speedy recovery.
I don't know if that was down to a tackle or whether he just fell awkwardly, to be honest, with that. It looks like he's fell awkwardly. Maybe he's gone into the advertising hoardings awkwardly as well, but it's a fracture of the lower lower leg even. 6 weeks out, which basically rolls around for Christmas, which is obviously devastating for plenty of reasons, no more so than it kind of curtails Joe Gomez's development for 6 weeks, which is obviously not what we want. He's the best young centre-half in England.
Yeah. We know when he comes back, though, he'd be straight back in that team.
Yeah. And the other issue, of course, is you just don't know what you're getting with Lovren in terms of fitness.
Yeah, he's always got like a niggling illness or a niggling injury or something. So.
Joe Matip plays last night.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more of Matip.
Yeah,
should we talk about the lineup?
Yeah, I think Liverpool probably, on the strength of this, probably could do with a little foray into the transfer market.
Yeah, perhaps
for maybe a new centre out. I'm not expecting Liverpool to spend fortunes, which is why the Delict isn't going to be coming in January, as much as I would love them to. But yeah, if we look at the lineups, well, I'm looking at Bournemouth. I don't know why I'm looking at Bournemouth. We haven't even fucking come near that yet. So Alisson in goal, Joe Gomez starts, Joel Matip, Van Dijk, and Alberto Moreno. Midfield 3 of Henderson, Keita, and Milner, and then front 3 of Shaqiri, Origi, and Sturridge. I've said it that way. You could probably argue it was more of a diamond in midfield.
Yeah,
Henderson sitting.
It started as more of a 4-4-2, didn't it?
Yeah, Henderson sitting with Shaqiri and Milner. Milner and Keita either side, and then Shaqiri behind the two, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of deep, fuck's sake, what's going on when people saw that lineup. I mean, I wasn't too fussed because, as I've already said, Liverpool need to use their squad.
Yeah, it's something we've got to do this season. You look at what City did the night before. No Sterling, no Aguero. They have that luxury to be able to rotate and still have a first team quality team.
Yeah.
We need to be able to rotate our players and get these wins. One of the main reasons why I think this win is so important, it's A, we're coming back from a goal down, and B, we have rotated the squad. We've lost a player to injury. It seemed like one of those games that it's Burnley away.
Yeah,
we've gone down early in the second half. Maybe the best we can do is a draw. But Klopp makes the change. He brings on 2 of his stars, and we actually get the goals and get the win.
Can I say I called this before the game?
Well, when you said it stinks of Stoke.
It stinks of Stoke 2 years ago when he rested stupid numbers of players. Like Woodburn starts, doesn't he?
Yeah. Thing is, though, that team that started is not anywhere near as bad or as inexperienced as that Stoke team.
Oh, no. Yeah, of course not. But what I meant by it was there's so much on the bench that when this inevitably doesn't work, that we can turn around and we can pull the big guns on of Firmino and Salah. And they've still both got a rest, albeit they end up playing half an hour. Is it half an hour each?
Yeah.
Yeah, even less than that, 20 minutes. About 20 minutes each, 25 minutes each. So, I mean, from that point of view, everything's went pretty well, to be honest. It couldn't have gone better, really. Obviously, the clean sheet would have been nice. But in terms of, Liverpool dominated this game, 74% possession, 18 shots, 12 on target. Compared to Burnley, obviously 26% possession, 10 attempts. But it wasn't by any... Liverpool never really looked particularly in trouble. There were points where Burnley were getting chances. Don't get me wrong, but there's never a point where I'm just like, fucking hell, thank God Virgil van Dijk's playing today, or until the 90th minute, thank God Alisson's playing today. It's just Liverpool marshalled them really well. The first half's quite quiet, to be honest, quite uneventful, and then they go ahead through a goal which I think could have been disallowed for about 3 different reasons. My first 2 would be Chris Wood's obviously offside, and Alisson would have dealt with the ball had Chris Wood not been there. And the second one is Alisson quite clearly has 2 hands on the ball, which by the letter of the law is,
his ball.
He's deemed to have control of the ball. Because funnily enough, Jamie looked the rule up today for it because of what happened in the United game. Did you see Lacazette? Basically, De Gea has the ball and is holding it out in one hand, and Lacazette comes from behind him, heads the ball out of his hand and taps it into an empty net. Disallowed straight away. A new ruling came in, I think it was 2 years ago now, which basically means that the keeper having the ball under control means that he has got it in both hands, one hand, or has it between an object and his hands.
Yeah.
So Alisson, by any definition, has 2 hands on the ball, pinned against the floor, kicked out of his hands. Cork scores.
Yeah.
And then the commentator comes out with the nugget that Jack Cork's never lost a game when he scored. So what Liverpool do is they play our trump card. We play our trump card and we get a goal through James Milner.
And we see what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
I think
James Milner wins.
It's the 50th game James Milner's scored in now. So that's basic. I think basically he's won on seniority.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for Burnley, really.
Yeah, he's about to get his 500th Premier League appearance as well.
499th appearance last night, and he's somehow getting better. He's had a blip this season. He set the bar far too high for himself at the start of the season.
He's still a very fine wine.
But yesterday he was incredible. He was probably he's in the top 3 of Liverpool's players. He's not quite as good as Naby Keita, who is the best player on the pitch. And finally,
it's finally that Keita that we were all incredibly excited to see.
Yeah.
When the deal was announced that we were going to sign him the season after, and who we were just watching shitloads of YouTube videos on. We finally see Matt Keita now. He seems to have had that bedding in period that Oxlade-Chamberlain had, that Andy Robbo had, that Fabinho seems to have had. Yeah.
There's something in going back to Everton. There's something in the aftermath of Everton where they're all on the pitch still and they're all jumping around. And I noticed Naby Keita's having a laugh and a joke with Divock Origi.
Yeah.
And it meant the world to me, to be honest. I obviously saw it on the telly afterwards, didn't see it in the ground, but it meant the world to me to see that, because it's like Keita's finally... Because there was that thing, wasn't it? It was like, he's just always around Sadio, he's just always around Mane. And that was obviously so concerning.
Yeah.
And it means that he's even if it is with Divock Origi, he's finally getting to a place where he's involved in the team and he feels comfortable. Which, that's how we're going to see the best of him. Really, I can't wait to see more of him now, to be honest.
He did absolutely run the show, didn't he?
Yeah, he did too, right? He did.
Performance deserved a goal.
And he very nearly had one.
Yeah, I'm absolutely gutted it didn't fall.
Well, it's Joe Hart makes an incredible save from him. He has a back heel cleared off the line by Phil Bardsley as well. But it was such an important goal Liverpool scored, going back to James Milner. It's such an important goal Liverpool scored, and it was something I was saying in the week. It was in the immediate aftermath of the PSG game, actually, and it was when I was thinking of Napoli coming up.
Yeah.
And I made a joke on Twitter, basically, you can see it now, can't you? 89th minute, Liverpool need to score to go through. Firmino, lovely cushion header. For Henderson, who passes it back to Virgil van Dijk. Because that's what Liverpool are at this point. Do you know what I mean? There's no one who's just going to have a belt from 20 yards. And James Milner does that in this game. James Milner just literally just looks up, sees the corner, and picks that corner out.
Yep.
And it's a great finish. And there's too many times this season where we've been in that position and we've just looked for a dink over the top, or we've looked for another pass to feed maybe Firmino or Salah. Whereas this time Milner's just placed it in the corner.
Yeah, so it was quite soon after their goal as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's 8 minutes after, which is vital, really. It gets Liverpool back in the game before Burnley can get a proper hold on it. And from that point on, it was like, okay, we're going to win this game. Because,
just waiting for the next goal now. Because
Salah and Firmino are coming on, and we're going to win this game. And the second goal is the second great piece of ingenuity from Trent Alexander-Arnold in 2 games.
A second great assist from Virgil van Dijk.
A second great assist from Virgil van Dijk, indeed. This one he meant a little bit more, I think.
I'm not having he didn't mean the first.
No, his reaction turning away. That was one of the things I missed off on my big list of why everything was perfect. Virgil van Dijk turning away and being like, but how can you have it? Oh. Yeah, sorry. Jamie's just come in distracting. But yeah, it's great from Van Dijk, and Firmino's first touch of the ball when he comes on. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a very nice first touch. For a goal to put us in the lead after us being behind, he was very, very subdued in his celebrations, I thought.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, that's good, whatever.
It's just the way Firmino is, isn't he? He's just he didn't do anything on his own, which he normally does. He normally does something on his own and then turns around and celebrates with everybody else. Whereas this time it was straight away celebrating with Danny Sturridge.
Yeah.
Which is great to see. But I mean, from that point on, it could so easily have gone differently had it not been for the fact that Liverpool spent £65 million on a goalkeeper in the summer.
Oh God, yeah.
It's so fucking
worth every penny.
It's an incredible save.
Yep,
it really
absolutely
is.
Amazing. It couldn't be more in the top corner.
Yeah,
and thanks to his above average arms, he manages to get the ball and he manages to save it.
I couldn't imagine having a keeper with short arms. It would.
It'd be devastating. It'd be absolutely devastating.
Imagine he's a good goalkeeper and then he just can't reach the corners.
Yeah.
Or the crossbar. It'd be really, really sad, wouldn't it?
But worse, what would be worse if he could just reach the crossbar but not enough to actually catch a ball?
Yeah,
but only want to parry it back into play.
Yeah, fingertips on it enough to push it back into play.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you might concede goals from that.
You might.
Might come a cropper. Well, we don't have to worry about that. We have people with great big long arms, which he demonstrates twice in this, to be fair, because it's a great save, and then the play carries on.
Yeah, he's immediately back up, and instead of letting the ball go out for a corner, which he could have quite easily done.
No, it was going on for was it going on for a corner or a goal kick?
I think it was a corner.
A corner, right?
Yeah. He could have quite easily done. He runs, manages to get the ball with his massive, great long arms, knock it over the head of one of the Burnley strikers, catch it on the other side, and then release it quick, which is something that is just so foreign to us for the past few years.
Yeah, since Reina left, I think you think it's where you're going with that.
Exactly. It's just like a keeper's come out and make a decision like that, and then not panic, not just stop with the ball and usher everyone up the pitch and then pass it out to the fucking centre back. He just releases it straight away. It goes straight to Sturridge, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sturridge dinks it over to Salah, and then Salah first touch to Shaqiri, who first touch scores. It's just that goal is made from Alisson being fantastic over like a whole minute period.
Yeah,
it is brilliant.
Yeah, he's by far and away the best keeper that I've ever seen play for Liverpool. Maybe the best keeper. Maybe he is the best keeper in the league. Maybe. But I mean, yeah, you look at the mistakes that some goalkeepers have made this week. Not just short arse, but De Gea concedes a really poor goal last night against Arsenal.
Oh God, yeah, he just lets it slip through his hands, doesn't he?
He just pushes it over his head and it lobs him. He lobs himself. It's so strange.
You can see Pickford doing that.
I could probably. Edison's just fucking arrogant, and he doesn't have enough shots at him to ever concede fucking goals anyway, to be honest, because people are terrified.
Yeah, but if someone does get at him, he does shit his pants, doesn't he?
Kepa had another poor game yesterday where he let a ball go through him, basically.
Also, he's 12. He's an actual child. We shouldn't be allowing him to play football. I'm sure it's against some kind of like EU law for child workforces.
Oh, they paid a lot of money for him as well. He's the most expensive goalkeeper of all time.
He's a baby.
You know, bless him. He'll come good eventually, but Hugo Lloris had a hell of a game for Spurs last night as well.
Give him 12 years, like double his age.
Yeah, bless him. Let him hit puberty first.
Exactly, yeah.
Let his arms grow a little bit. But yeah, I think Alisson's comfortably up there.
In the top one.
Top one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, in terms of world football, I'm talking. I mean.
Okay, fair enough.
Neuer's dropped off in recent years, so you're probably looking at Oblak, Ter Stegen, De Gea, and I'm going to be biased. Fuck it, Alisson.
Yeah. De Gea this season, though.
Well, exactly,
no
and that's why I said Neuer dropped off. So yeah, De Gea is dropping off this season. Maybe he just needs a better defence in front of him. Maybe it's like the dam that, you know, it's been holding water back for that many years, and its cracks have started forming.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can plaster over the same crack.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But yeah, I mean, it's the best thing about this goal other than Alisson. Take Alisson and put him to one side, and never forget about him because he's the best goalkeeper in the world.
Gorgeous too. He's gorgeous, and he's got really big arms.
It's a goal we haven't scored this season, in particular, and there might be a couple of examples of it. But in terms of, we've been really sloppy at at occasion, like the final ball's not quite been there.
Yeah.
We've had chances like this and we haven't taken them. Whereas this time, forced to Shaqiri, bang, straight away in the back of the net. Liverpool, game over, 3-1.
It's quick one-touch football, and I think you're right. We haven't seen that this season.
Yeah, exactly.
And we saw it a lot last.
There's so many occasions this season where Liverpool's final ball has just been missing, and like whether it's been like Firmino to Mane or something like that, it's just been. Last season it was clicking, and this season it's not, and that's what we've all been saying, really, isn't it? Once it clicks, and this might be the game it's clicked, because Liverpool played some lovely football in this game. Liverpool never looked in particular danger in this game.
Yeah, I think second half is probably the best I've seen Liverpool in a while.
Liverpool have only conceded 6 goals this season, and all right, one of them's in this game. But yeah, you're right. This is the best I've seen Liverpool play in a while. It might be the best performance, one of the better performances of this season. Which when we beat Spurs away is we drew at City, who were supposedly unstoppable. There's a lot to be said for that.
It's just a shame this game fell in the same week as Everton, so it doesn't feel like we're appreciating it as much as we possibly should because we're too busy laughing at Everton.
I mean, yes and no, and I can see where you're coming from with that, but I think these 2 games were the perfect tonic to recover from PSG.
Oh, 100%.
And we needed it to go into. If we beat Bournemouth this weekend, which is by no means guaranteed because Bournemouth are a great team,
and Ryan Fraser loves playing against us for some fucking reason.
Ryan Fraser likes a goal. Callum Wilson's banging form.
Yep.
All right, we like playing there recently, but last season in particular, what was it? Finished 3-0.
Yep.
Salah scored, didn't he?
Yep.
Coutinho did as well, didn't he? But fuck off. But yeah, it's by no means an easy game, and Liverpool go into it now on the back of 2 wins, which one of them was as cheeky a win as you like, and one of them's a very hard fought win where we've shown a lot of character to come back from 1-0 down in it. So if we can make it 3 wins from 3 in this game, go into Napoli with a huge amount of confidence, and then you take that further into United, you take it even further, you carry on, and you're looking at Wolves. Then, do you know what I mean? The game afterwards, which terrifies me, to be honest with you. But just in terms of it, just every game will terrify me whilst we're unbeaten.
Yeah,
we're such a massive scalp right now to anybody. Just because we're unbeaten, it would really do us the world of good for City to get swatted this weekend, and then we move above them. But in many ways, it makes us even more of a scalp.
Yeah,
it's just terrifying, really.
Our heart's not going to be good either way.
I'm not used to it. That's the thing. Liverpool have made such a jump this season from being good at football to being really, really great at football. And by playing worse as well. I don't know how we've managed it, to be honest. We basically went, we're going to play worse, but we're going to be so much better.
We're playing more controlled.
Yeah.
I don't want to say worse. It's worse in a sense that we're scoring less goals, but it's better in that we're managing games better. It
seems more defensively sound, but less cohesion in the attack.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. I think the attack needs to just work out what it's doing at the moment, and whether that needs another player in there, maybe in January, maybe Fekir is the answer. Who knows, really? But yeah, I know what you mean. We have been a lot more solid, a lot more conservative in the way we're playing the game. We're not looking to bomb everybody forward because we're not after. The thing is, Liverpool have I think Liverpool have accepted that we're not going to outscore Man City this season. So what we're going to do is we're just going to out-defend them.
Yeah,
and
we're just going to not lose.
If we keep winning games and we keep not dropping points, then we'll catch them at some point. Is the basic logic. Whether or not it actually comes off, we'll wait and see. It's all down to whether a team will actually have a go at Manchester City, which doesn't seem likely to happen ever in our lifetimes again. Which is such a shame because they're so get-outable. They played Fabian Delph at left back yesterday, and Vincent Kompany can't run. And
it is possible. It is possible. Someone will work it out.
I hope it's Sarri. I hope it. I hope to dear God that it's Sarri, because if we beat Bournemouth, we can maintain a gap over Chelsea whilst the City drop points, and we'd be top.
We are quite a few points ahead of Chelsea now, to be fair.
The thing is, as well, if we beat Bournemouth this weekend, we are top, and there's a lot of pressure on Man City then to take it off away at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is true.
Which, City I was going to say are used to pressure. They aren't really. Last season they were 8 points clear at this stage, and they won the title. We were all like, all right, City have won the title, and so as long as we finish top 4, who's asked. Whereas this season, now you're looking at it, and like 2 points is, as I say, it's make up one on a weekend if City drop.
Definitely. And that, we've seen that a 2 point gap, or like being level on points, can quite easily stretch into what is now an 8 point gap between us and Chelsea. Like, I think it might be safe to say, if they don't beat City every weekend, but probably out of the title race, it's very, very quick.
So hold on, so there's 8 points between us and Chelsea, so that means there's 10 between City and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Going into this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's there's no way Chelsea are ever coming back from 13 points this season. They've died off too quickly.
But it's just I don't know. The fall of Chelsea has just shown that it is so easy in this title race to fall away, and the fact that we haven't yet. I think City aren't.
Can I be honest as well?
City weren't ready for that. I don't think City were ready for a team to be this close to them at this stage.
Can I be honest as well? I don't see City dropping 13 points again this season. That 13 point gap that we're talking about there.
Yeah.
I don't see City dropping 13 points again this season. So Chelsea, that would be Chelsea out there title race. Whether Liverpool do or not is, remains to be seen. But yeah, I think you're spot on there. City just have never had to deal with pressure like this. To be honest, I say that's what I was getting at. Basically, is like if you think last season they're 8 points clear, this season you turn around and they're going to go into this game if Liverpool win against Bournemouth. They're going to go into the Chelsea game second, having played this incredible football and blown away pretty much every team in the league this year except for Liverpool and Wolves. They're going to go into this game second in the table, and a lot of them won't know how, won't be happy with it. And I saw there was a City fans post getting retweeted where it was just like, "Will you just fuck off, Liverpool? You're like wasps at a picnic." Like, yeah, we are. We're them wasps.
Like, we're not going anywhere. Not Chelsea. City just need to try and get on with their game, but I feel like it's going to be difficult for them, knowing that we're there still breathing down their necks.
No, definitely.
Like, there's a different kind of pressure on us. Like, we've had our best start to a league season in our entire 126-year history, and we're second. Like, so that comes with its own frustrations. But I think with that, it shows us that there's still room to improve for us. But City must be turning around thinking, we can't get any better, and they're still fucking here.
Yeah. I mean, you say there's pressure on us, but the only pressure on Liverpool this season I can see at this point in time is that Liverpool are unbeaten. That's it. Like, no one realistically is expecting Liverpool to catch Man City except for maybe Liverpool fans. Do you know what I mean? And even then, I will fully say it now, I would love it more than anything in the world, but I just don't see us catching this City team, and it's no disgrace because Manchester City are just incredible. But the fact is, they will drop points this season, and if Liverpool are to win the league, Liverpool need to be where we are now, ready to catch and ready to spring. And
I think we can catch them. That's the horrendous optimist in me, I guess.
I think it's Liverpool. If there's a team who's going to do it, it's going to be Liverpool. And
there's no other team.
Yeah,
Spurs.
This Liverpool team is good. This Liverpool team's good enough to push City
them
all the way. But the fact is, all the way is a long way away. Man City have just got so much more strength and depth, and I feel like Liverpool could probably do with another summer.
Maybe.
Another summer where we're just like, alright, okay, so last year we sorted out the defence, now we need to go and sort a couple. Well, we sort out midfielders as well. So we need to go and sort out another forward and then add some depth as well. Because when Man City turn around and Kevin De Bruyne is injured, they bring in Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
And when Aguero's not firing, they bring in Gabriel Jesus. And when Sterling's not firing, they play with Leroy Sané or Riyad Mahrez instead. And we can't. Other than left back, they've got options all over the place. And when Mendy's injured, they've been just lashing anyone in there because left back doesn't matter apparently. Which is that baffles me because Guardiola kind of was famous for how he used fullbacks at Barca, and now we're looking at them just like, yeah, but their fullbacks don't matter, do they? Do you know what I mean? They could play anyone a fullback, like Carl. They've got Carl Walker there and Mendy in their first team. Honest to God, they could go back and pick someone who played for them in 1998 when they were fucking crap and put them there now. And they would still just, you wouldn't notice because the middle of their team is just so fucking good. And also, they just never get attacked. Ever. Someone will. Joe, there's a massive game, not this weekend, next weekend for them. Everton.
Yeah, Everton always seem to perform against City.
Got a draw against them last season.
Yeah.
When were Everton at 10 man? I think Everton were down to 10.
Yes, they were. And well, we saw at the weekend. Silva's not the kind of manager who's going to try and sit back.
Yeah, I mean, he sort of did against Chelsea, but it was different type. It was more of a counter-attacking style.
Still stand by both teams were crap that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think, let me have a look. 15th of December, Man City Everton. So it is at the Etihad, but still, Everton's a massive game for them, and there is a slightly difficult run of games coming up for them. So Chelsea this weekend, then Everton at home, then Leicester away, which is EFL Cup admittedly, but it's still another game.
Yep.
Leicester away is a difficult game as well because Leicester will be up for that. Then Crystal Palace, who can't fucking find any form, but then Leicester away in the league on Boxing Day, which is a shite Boxing Day game. Yeah. That is a shite game to have on Boxing Day. That because
don't want to get to Leicester on Boxing Day, do you?
And you never know what's going to happen with this one either on the 30th, where they go away to Southampton, who've just appointed a new manager.
Yeah.
If Southampton have the
club of the Alps, apparently.
Yeah, if they have the bounce, you never know, do you?
Possibly.
Do you know what I mean?
And then it's us.
And then it's us. Which I can't believe how much importance is on that game already.
Are we gonna have another if we're ahead of City after that game? We win the league, or level with City after that game.
No, it's too. The thing when I said that, there was a decent amount of games gone, kind of thing. Whereas this is too near into the. It's like the 21st game or something like that, isn't it? Or the 20th game.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's far enough in. If we were looking at like the 27th or 28th game, I'd be like, yeah, too right. We can say that. I think. Let me have a look. They play Chelsea. They're down to play Chelsea on 9th of February. Oh God, that's a difficult run of games, which is shot out of nowhere for them.
Well, they have
about fucking time.
Well, they have played Bournemouth 7 times so far. So yeah,
about fucking time. Huddersfield away. This is them going into the new year, right? So. After they play us, they play in the league Wolves at home. You don't know yet, really, what's going to happen there. But then Huddersfield away, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Chelsea at home, Everton away.
That's got a nice run of games.
And then a couple of games afterwards, and then they go to Old Trafford afterwards. They end the season away at Brighton.
It's warm, man.
Yeah.
They'll have a lovely day.
We end the season at home to Wolves.
It's warm then. We'll have a lovely day.
They were due a hard game. But I don't know, I was looking for a point where I would say that like Liverpool need to be level on points with them at this point. I think once we get to like March or something like that, if Liverpool can... still within touching distance, then maybe you can turn around and say it. Basically, if Liverpool gets to that run of games and we're still at a point where if City drop, 4 points, Liverpool go straight in, then yeah, fine. I'll say it then. For now, I'll say that let's enjoy this.
Of course, yeah.
I think this is an important message, and we should end probably on this one, to be honest, is just enjoy this, because football doesn't get much better than your team winning every week. And Liverpool are winning every week, with the exception of PSG and European aways, apparently. Liverpool are winning. Liverpool are keeping pace. Well, we're 2 points off. Probably the best team that's ever played in the Premier League. You know, they got 100 points last season, which is the most points any team's ever got in the Premier League. And Liverpool are keeping pace with them. And for some fucking mad reason, we're the only team who can, regardless of how much money United and Chelsea have spent, and probably because of Jurgen Klopp being the best manager in the world, something like that. But, you know, we've seen so many bad things happen at Liverpool since we've seen Roy Evans and Gerard Houllier in charge at the same time. We've seen fucking Brendan Rodgers rise and complete fall. We've seen Roy Hodgson. We've seen Liverpool at the brink where we thought we were all going to go into it was going to go into administration, and even then we had Andy Carroll on the pitch, and I would probably argue one's worse than the other. Football is so about the ups and the downs, and it's we've had so many downs, and it's important to not underestimate how good this up is, because this Liverpool team in any other season now we would be so fucking far ahead of everybody else, and we would be on for the title. But we're not, because the best team in Premier League history is currently playing the same season as us. It's no disgrace. And Liverpool will hopefully end this season with a trophy. But let's just fucking enjoy Christmas, watch Liverpool come out into January unbeaten still. And yeah, just, enjoy the football. Because hopefully the Reds are going to click soon, and then how good's that going to be? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Definitely.
So, anything you want to add?
No, I'm a bit teared up, actually.
Oh, heavy. Alright, I'm happy to end that there. So yeah, just this episode this week. We'll go back to 2 episodes next week, because it might make a couple more of you listen, to be honest. But yeah, thank you very much.
I'm not going on holiday until next year.
We might have to have a holiday this coming up soon, Jamie. I need a break.
I'll just be sat here with a dog, it'll be fine.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening. If you've got to this point of us rambling about how shit Jordan Pickford is. If you
never forget.
If you could, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Spotify, Podbean, Podcast Addict, YouTube.
We have a story of the poor boy on all of them.
We will eventually pin a tweet that has all the links to it, because Matt did say it to me last week and I completely forgot. Yeah, we'll do that at some point. WordPress, haven't wrote anything for a while, but I will do it at some point again. It's just getting the time to do it, to be honest. I always come up with these ideas and I'll get halfway through writing them and I'm like, this is dull. It's just like, I don't want to read this, and I've just wrote it. So why would I?
Writing's hard.
Yeah, exactly. I think anyone who thinks that they're any good at writing needs to actually fucking try, because it's hard.
I slept through my English AS level, so I don't know. It was my DOSing lesson.
Yeah. So thank you again, and yeah, take that message out of this. Moments in football. The good moments in football are so fleeting, so enjoy when Everton's goalkeeper can't reach the crossbar and gives it to Divock Origi in the 96th minute.
Arms.
Enjoy the little things in life. Enjoy winding Everton fans up.
Enjoy Jordan Pickford,
because he is the littlest of little men.
Such a little thing in life.
Bless his tiny little hands. Legend. Liverpool legend. Do you know what? He's a better goalkeeper for Liverpool than Sander Westerveld ever was. And with that, see you after.